Hello everyone. It's been a while since we learned our JavaScript. Now time to continue the lecture from that page. I even I don't even remember the page that we were on. Let's go to Geek for Geek, then decide. These things must be go in order. So where is the JavaScript? Yes. Let's see if we can recall anything. We have already studied this section, the const keyword. Then we studied the try catch statement. Then after that we studied the continue statement up to continue statement. And I do recall the urinary operator, relational operator, etc. Now time to study some JavaScript objects. So in JavaScript, objects are the complex data type that allow for creation of structured entities with properties and method. So let me open my VS Code side by side in order to make notes. And here is our hero, Champ. And there's a React project open that I was working on. Just close it now and open the JavaScript Geek for Geek README file. Let's shrink me the terminal and close the explorer. Let me increase the size first. If I had some form of input to ask you what should I first recall it from there, then we should continue it, or we just continue it again. So if there's no input from your side, the only thought process, the only decision I am taking is to first read the JavaScript. We already know collected notes, then we will continue from starting from JavaScript array, then a string, date, number, math, object, boolean, JSON, map, set, and everything else. And I'm sure that these topics will take a few of our second because these are just the revision one. So let me increase the font size again, decrease the size of terminal, and here JavaScript is a weakly typed language, or you can say dynamically typed. It is lightweight, cross-platform, and single-threaded. In JavaScript, the first-class citizens are entities that can be treated like any other variable in the language. For example, a function that can be used as a parameter in another function. So a function becomes the first-class citizen. Now we have different method, number, parseInt, parsefloat, that can be used to convert a string to a number in JavaScript. Okay. An event in JavaScript refers to action or occurrence that happen in browser, such as user interaction like clicks or key presses, page loading, other actions. So event is anything that when a user interacts with the web page. Next, a closure in JavaScript is a function that retains access to its outer scope, lexical scope, even after the outer function has finished executing. I have already marked this, so we will see it in further future. Actually, how it interact with us, how it will help us to solve JavaScript problems. And I have a plan that after completing this series, which is not much. No, it isn't much that it cannot be completed. So after completing it, we will certainly go to a website known as Exercism, which is a open source competition to lead code, or such a competition or website in which I will try to solve the problem. I don't know whether I am able to or not, but I will certainly try it. So next, a closer lets a function keep access to its own variables even after it has finished running. So I have already heard something about this. No, actually, we will see what closer actually means in practical terms, how it actually impact our working. Then Mozilla later developed from Netscape. That's a fact to know. We have stored something known as prototype based. I don't know from which context I carried it over. We will see what the prototype based mean. Next is ECMAScript is an standardized specification that JavaScript is based on, which defines the language syntax, semantics, and core feature. It facilitates the addition of new methods and improvement to the language. So basically, ES6 or the full form if E is ECMAScript, which further develops the JavaScript as a language by adding more features and improving the browsing experience overall. JavaScript library for handling HTTP request is Axios. And in topic of web development, especially in backend development, we often hear the word Axios that is used when we want to share or link the backend with the front end. Basically, it facilitates the cross sharing of resources. The this keyword, I have to highlight this. This keyword in JavaScript refers in context in which the function is executed, which can vary depending on how function is called. It doesn't strictly define the local scope, but rather points to object that is currently executing the function. In the very nominal sense, basically within a function, the parameter that a function takes is usually this. Normally, the functions are executed based on the order they are called, not defined. So you can define function A, function 1, function 2, function 3, but you execute the function 3 using the parenthesis, then only the function 3 will be called, 1 and 2 will be forgotten. So here we are trying to say that the function is executed on the basis of they are called. Hoisting is a JavaScript mechanism where variables and function declarations are moved to the top of their containing scope during the compile phase. This means that you can use the function and variables before they are declared in code. So hoisting happens for function, which means that often we have seen the error that we define the variable later in the code, but we used it before actual declaration, and the JavaScript throws an error. But in the case of function, we can use the function before declaring it, because due to help of hoisting, the function actually comes before in this stack, so we can use the function even if we define the function later. Next, a set timeout feature is a asynchronous function, so it will execute after the current call stack is clear. Okay, a synchronous function is the function that happens or side by side of the main sync function and actually waits in order to data to arrive. So the further code will be processed. Next is a callback function is a function that is passed as an argument to another function and is executed after some operation is completed. I have already marked the callback function as well. So we will look in future what the actual feature of the callback function. Here we have sub functions in JavaScript .log, .error. Actually, these all are followed by console.log, console.error. I think we used to say it methods in console. Console.log prints the value, console.error it will shows the error, console.warn actually shows the warning or shows the letters that are present inside the enclosed in the parenthesis in yellow color. An error, the color is red. For warning, the color is yellow. The clear clears the console. The time followed by time end actually measures the time, what is bound bit from time to time end. Table represents the data in key value pair. Count actually I think counts the number of iterations happen. Suppose it can count to up to 1 to n that are defined by our code. I do not recall what the group is used to, so I will highlight this, and this was the reason that I am using markdown and recalling all the concepts that we have already learned. Next is symbols. Symbols are used to create unique identifier for object properties. Symbols are indeed immutable, meaning that once a symbol is created, it cannot be changed. Symbol can be used as object keys. Okay. So symbols are immutable, means they cannot be changed. While symbols are unique, meaning that even if they create two symbols with same description, they are different. I slightly recall this. Next, symbols are not included in for in loop when we are iterating over object properties. You would need to use the object.getOwnProperty symbols to retrieve properties that use symbols as key. Okay. Next is object.getOnProperty symbols is a method you can use to retrieve all the symbol properties of an object. Okay, mean that we cannot play directly with symbols. We have to use this method dot get own property symbols in order to play with symbol, or the play the way that we usually do with strings or object. I think you don't need to use new keyword when creating a symbol, because symbol is designed to be called as a function rather than a constructor. Okay. So when declaring a variable, or when declaring a variable inside a function, we usually used to write the new keyword. It is a part of syntax in JavaScript. But for declaring a symbol, we don't have to use the new keyword, because the symbol is called as a function rather than as a constructor. The constructor is itself a very large topic that we will have to see. No problem there. We will go to that also. Next is redeclaration. Attempting to declare a variable that already exists in the same scope, which behaves differently based on the declaration type. Okay. And updating is the changing of value of existing variable without redeclaring it, which is allowed for a var handlet and for partially for const if dealing with object. The confusion between redeclaration and updation is totally not valid in case of Python, because we used to redeclare and update a variable in the same way in Python. But here we have the distinction. When we use the word let, var or const, we are actually declaring the value, and after that we assign a value to that variable using equal sign, and if we reassign a new value, that we call updating, because the declaration can be only done at once. I think this is the thing that this statement is trying to convey. Next is, if a function does not have a return statement, it implicitly returns undefined. It doesn't output a boolean. Okay. If function does not have return statement, it will directly states undefined. You can use multiple return statement in single function. However, only one return is executed. The function will exit and any subsequent return statement will not be executed. Okay. Next is, if you use the return statement inside a loop, it will exit the function entirely at that point, not just iterate. The loop will not continue after the return is executed. Okay. So basically returns quits the loop or function. You cannot return multiple separate values directly. You can return an array or an object that contains multiple value. Okay. Okay. So in order to get multiple values out of a JavaScript function, we can use array, because return can only output a single thing. It may be enclosed, multiple values are enclosed in an array or might be an object. The key difference is that the return can specify a value to return, while simply reaching at the end of function returns undefined. Okay. So the return key terminates the function in midway, not by reaching it at end. If function reaches to its end, it will return undefined by default. The continue statement that can be used with labeled loops, allowing you to specify which loops to continue, if you have nested loops. Okay. I think I didn't get it. The continue statement can be used with label loops, allowing you to specify which loop to continue if you have nested loops. Okay, okay. So we can label loops by writing a name, writing a just like a variable name before starting a loop, and the rule and the loop will be tagged with that name. Next is the break statement without a label which only break out of the loop in which it is called, but with a label it can also exit outer loops. Okay, so we can direct a break statement with a loop pair, a loop name pair, which initiates a command to break the loop, break the outer loop too. By default, it only breaks a inner loop in a nested loop condition. Next is the main difference between do while and while loop is that it is guaranteed that do while loop will run at least once, where the while loop will not run even when the condition is not satisfied. So basically the difference is that in what place we define the condition. In do while loop, we define the condition at the last of the loop. So loop will start from flowing from top to bottom, and if it sees that the condition is not met, then the loop will not continue. But a second form, which is while loop first simply checks if condition is met or not. If it isn't, then no loop will happen. So it also guarantees that the loop will not run if the conditions are not met or satisfied. Next is using has on property allows you to check if the property belongs to object itself or not to its prototype chain, thus preventing iteration over inherited properties. Okay, but how does it change our working? We will also highlight it so we can see it. Next, here is our some future questions. That is, we are going to see the difference between map versus object in JavaScript, and we will see in future. So it must be needed to highlight it. Next is for of iterates over value of an iterable. For in iterates over the keys of an object. Okay. While the for of loop is not directly used to iterate over the object properties, you can use it with combination of object.keys, object.values or object.entries to achieve this. Okay, so for in loop is much more common in JavaScript, but we can also achieve the same using for of loop by using these properties or methods. Now here is our loop, the most confusing loops that by which we end our first session. I think it was the first session. Next, the equal sign stands for assignment operator, double equal stands for equality operator, and triple equals stand for strict equality operator. Double equals is also known as lose equality, which means that this operator checks for the equality after performing the type question if necessary. Use this when you want to allow some type of type conversion. For example, 0 double equals to 0 evaluates to true because it first evaluates the string 0 to a number 0, and then the answer will become true. But in case of a strict equality, it doesn't coerce, which means that it doesn't change the type of the data, that the string remains string in this case, and hence it outputs to false because the types are different. Next, the expression null is equal to undefined actually evaluates to true, because in JavaScript null and undefined are considered loosely equal because they both represent the absence of value, so they will become 0 and 0 and 0 and 0 equals to true. I think because I have read somewhere that the null and undefined actually implies to false, an absence of value, so it must be coerced to 0. Wearing headphones over glasses is a painful affair. I should have thought that. Never mind. Next is operator precedence. And what is operator precedence? Yes, the similar rule that we learned in our academics, smaller classes, that we have to follow the arithmetic operations, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division in an order, starting from division, then multiplication, then addition, and after that subtraction. And it is also followed in JavaScript as well with a name under operator precedence. Next is nullish coalescing operator. Double question mark returns the right hand operand when the left hand operand is either null or undefined. Otherwise, it returns the left hand operand. Okay, the thing that we use to set the default value for something. A big int is similar to a number in some ways. However, it cannot be used with method of built-in math object and cannot be mixed with instances of number in operation. Okay. Operations supported on big int are not the constant time. Hence, it is unsuitable for cryptography, and cryptographic algorithms need to behave predictively regardless of the input to avoid vulnerabilities. So these two are the reasons why we don't use big num for cryptographic purposes or the encryption purpose in the lightest sense. When you apply the unary negation operator to an object in JavaScript, the object is first converted to a primitive value. This typically involves calling the object value of or toString method. Okay. If the object does not provide a meaningful numeric value, it will convert to not a number, and arrays are a special type of object. This means that every array is also an object. Okay. And when you create an array, it has access to method defined on both array prototype like .push, .pop, etc. and object prototype like toString has on property, etc. due to prototype chaining or prototype chain. And here we finished our notes. It was a lot. Time to take a minuscule break to hydrate myself. You too need some hydration, I think. So time for pausing the recording for a single minute. For sure, body will thank you for hydrating him. But I'm thanking you to for keep me waiting and for continuing this series. So let's start with the JavaScript array. I hope that the screen is visible to you, and starting with our line 162, the JavaScript array. The array is a JavaScript data structure used to store multiple values in a single variable. It can hold various data types, allowing for dynamic resizing. Elements are accessed by index starting from 0. So indexing is basically the address of the element. For example, the 24 value 24 is present on the 2. Okay, next in the second index or 2. You have two ways to create JavaScript arrays, using an array constructor or using an shorthand array literal syntax, which is just a square brackets. Array are flexible in size, so they can grow or shrink as you add or remove element. A data structure in JavaScript that allows you to store multiple values in a single variable. Good. Each value within an array is called an element. Elements are accessed by their index. And I think these kind of topics will get more clear as we go over the quiz. Let's see. Creating an array using array literal. So basically literal is nothing but the square brackets present around the enter key on a keyboard. So this is the literal format. And this is a new keyword. When we use the new array, it will automatically creates an array with the following string comes within its parenthesis. Basic operations on a JavaScript array. We can access an element using the index, using its index. Next is accessing the first element. The first index starts from 0, hence the 0 will become the first element. For example, 0 outputs the HTML. Next is accessing the last. So we can always use the negative number and the negative one. So there is no negative 0. So the -1 will all automatically points to the last item of an array. So this will become the -1, -2, -3, and hence it is -4. Next is modifying the array elements. How we can modify it? We can put something by on a following index by using it as a variable. So courses and defining a special value, the 1 as bootstrap, hence 0 and 1. So there is a still gap here, and we are inputting the bootstrap here. As we can see, actually we are replacing the CSS with bootstrap in this scenario. So that's a new thing that I also learned, because in Python we usually used to insert the values, not replace the value. If I recall correctly, I may be wrong, because it's been a while since I written a single line of Python. Next is adding elements to array. So here is an array. We are using dot push method. So logically it should push it to the last. So after React, we are seeing the node.js. Good. And we can add element to the beginning using unshift method. Okay. So if it won't be wrong if I start by writing methods in array. First we learnt dot push method, and then we learned dot unshift method. Okay. And moving from that, we have pop method. In Python, pop is usually used to remove the last element if we don't pass any parameter, or we can also pass the parameter index within the parenthesis. Then it will remove that element that is present on that index. Let's see what the pop method do here. We have dot pop method, and after that we have shift method, and after that we have splice method. This is the original. Removes and returns the last element. Yes, the pop method also returns the element as an output. So if I will understand it when we actually use it. Okay. So if we add another line, let me edit it. So actually I'm trying to convey you what I'm trying to say. So here we are storing the last element by using a method called courses.pop. So if we console log the last element, console.log last element, I am very sure that it will output the last element of this here. So this output will become the last thing, that is node.js. Let's see. And here we are getting the node.js. This is the thing that I want to explain, that the pop also returns, means it just like picking a grape. It will pick a grape, pick a bead of grape, and then keep it in hand. So by mean of returning, I am saying that the pop method keeps something, some values in its hand until it's lost forever. So the if the grapes, the bunch of grape is an array, then the pop method actually picks a bead from that. So the array becomes devoid of that bead or that pearl of grapes, but it is in hand. It is in that variable that we assign to pop it from. That we assign to pop it from that. Next, the array length. We can get the length of an array using array length property. Okay, so we have dot length as well. I don't know why there is no parenthesis here. Dot length. One second. It ain't outputting the complete picture. Why so? Let run our test dot 01 dot, deleting everything, pasting this. One second. One second. We haven't pasted this. What is going on? Let me copy it first. Copy it, paste it, and run it. Run it using, first we have to move to gf as a list. First list all the files. We have js.jf slash gfg. So move to js slash gfg, then node test, and now we are getting the output as array length 5. So we don't need to have an parenthesis. And what will happen if we put parenthesis in it? And will it run after that? No, we are getting an error because courses dot length is not a function. Okay, I see. So we do not need to add in parenthesis because dot length is not a function. Now we are understanding JavaScript a little bit. Next is increasing and decreasing the array length. We can increase and decrease the array length using JavaScript length properties. Okay, increase length to 7 courses. After the increase in length, courses. Okay, here are two empty items. If we increase the array length to 7 and after decreasing the what happens to remaining item if we decrease the length? I think they will be removed. Should we try? I think we should try. Courses dot length, and we have to use the length called 3. And if we console log the courses itself, I'm sure that it will output to okay. Actually we have to remove that line first. Then the output will become 1 2 3, only 3 elements because we have a put lengths to it 3. And after that, if we increase the length to I don't know, 1 2 3 4 5, we increase it lengths to 8. And if we copy this statement and put it here, let's see what will it output then. Now we have 5 empty items. So actually essentially it is removing the items permanently. Next, iterating through an array, we can use the for loop and for each loop. And partially working with React project, I also learned about dot map method. We can concatenate array as well using the concat function. So we have also have to add this point concat. Okay. Next is conversion of array to string. We can use dot to string method. Built-in method. Okay. Now we can use the type of method as well. It's called type of. Okay. Let's see the difference between array objects. The numeric index, the object have name keys. These are ordered while the objects are unordered. The array is used for storing list. They are used to store key value pairs. Arrays are accessed by index. These are accessed by keys. Iterated using loop like for each. It is iterated using for in or for off loop. And the size of arrays are dynamic. The size of objects are also dynamic. And next, we use array when you need numeric indexing and order matters. Okay. When relationship matters, we use objects, and when indexing and order matters, we use array. Okay. Okay. The recognition of an array using dot it is array method. Okay. Dot is array. And next is by using instance of method. Okay. Instance of. Okay. Const number equal to 5 and const number new equal to 5. Okay, the above two statements are not same. A constant number console.log numbers. This statement will creates an array with an element 5 in quotes. Okay, and this will create 5 empty items. Okay. So we have two methods, and if we use the literal template literal method, we are actually creating an array with 5 in it, 5 digit 5 in it. While if we use the another constructor or constructor method, new array method, then it will creates an array with 5 empty items in it. Okay. I think I should write it somewhere. Creates array with 5 empty items. And I don't know whether it gets copied or not. Copy and paste. Creates array with digit 5 in it. Okay. Now according to JavaScript, JAVA. Okay. And what I can do here is by placing it here, commenting it out. Now we have properly placed our JavaScript as well. Time to move to next thing. JavaScript array complete reference. Okay. Now we are linked to an another reference article which contains a detailed description and example of all array properties and method. Okay, I think we are studying basics for JavaScript, so no need to spend so much time in a single topic. And the time has come to take a quiz. Quiz me. My ears. Stay logged out. Now, start with multiple choice question. Which of the following method can be used to add one or more elements to the end of array? Push. B would be the right answer. Correct. Next is, let me increase its width. And I have already tried multiple times, but I still not able to increase its size. So never mind, bear with me. Next is the push method adds one or more elements to the end of array. I think push methods true or false. Oh, okay. True or false. In JavaScript, arrays can hold elements of different data types. Yes. So the answer is true. Next is, what is the purpose of a splice method in array? I think it is used to divide the array. Not quite. The split method is used to add or remove elements after. Okay. I had slightly things in mind, and I'm very sorry that I haven't focused it while I was reading it. I'm very sorry. What is the output for the following code snippet? Console dot length r dot length 1 2 3, and it's 3. The output will be 3 because array contains 3 elements. True or false? The map methods create a new array populated with the result of calling provided function. I think yes. The map method creates a new array. I know that we haven't learned a single thing about map method in the following article. Next, how do you access the first element of an array? So we have to write few code. My array square bracket 0, because 0 refers to first element, and then sending the answer. Correct. Which method would you remove the last item from an array? We can always use pop method. Next, the for each method executes a provided function one for each array element and returns a new array. I think it returns a new array, but let's go with yes. For each method executes a provided function once for each array, but it doesn't return a new array. I should have said that it is right on my tongue or in front of my nose as, but I didn't say it. No problem, no problem. What does the concat method do in JavaScript arrays? Join two arrays. Actually, it is used to join two or more arrays, returning a new array without modifying the original arrays. Okay. Which of the following method returns the index of first occurrence of an specified values in an array? Okay. I think find method. Actually, I'm transposing some of my knowledge of Python to JavaScript, and and it's not working as correctly as I thought. Not quite. The current answer is A. Index of. The index of method returns the index of the first occurrence of an specified value in an array. Okay. Next is, you can change the elements of an array using their index after the array has been created. Yes, we have already seen that example. Next, what will the result of following code snippet? 0 and 1. And we are replacing the 20 with 40. Okay. Then the output would be a square bracket, 10, then 40, then 30, and a closing bracket. Exactly. Which method would use to reverse the order of an array? I think we are going with reverse this time. Yes, we also have reverse method as well. Now, this slice method can be used to extract a portion of array without modifying the original array. Slice and splice. I think we are going with true in this one. Okay, we also have slice method along with the splice method. The slice actually don't alter the original array. Next is, what is difference between shift and unshift method in JavaScript arrays? I haven't learned a single thing about this shift and unshift method. So let's go back to the article and see. And here it is. The push method adds element to an array. The unshift method add elements to the starting. I think I learned about the unshift method. And what is about unshift method? I don't know. Let's write what we have just learned. Unshift method adds I forgot it again. Unshift. Where it gone? The unshift method add element to the starting. Adds element to the starting of an array. This shift method, on the other hand, removes the first element of an array. Okay. So we have a rival to pop, which is push, and we have rival to shift, which is unshift. Adds of element to first, removes an element from first. Then we have splice and slice. Splice alters the original array in order to remove items, while slice, without altering the original array, it extracts the item from a specific index. Okay. There's a tough rivalry going between these. Push, poop, unshift, push, pop, not poop. Push, pop, unshift, shift, splice, slice. Next is complete. Our quiz has been completed, and time to move to next topic, which is string. Strings are very important topic in programming language like JavaScript. This article will help to understand the basic of strings. What are they, how to function. After this string, I will take a small break of 4 to 5 minutes. Let's see. The string is sequence of character inclusion single or double colon. The length, number of character in a string obtained using length properties. The position of character within a string starting from 0. Concatenation, the process of combining two or more strings to create a new one. Substring is the portion of a string obtained by extracting characters defined between indices. Okay. we are using the string literals here. We can use double quote, single quote, or you can use the string constructor using the new keyword, new string. Okay. And now we are using the template literal. Let str equal to template literal string, new string created using dollar $str. Okay. So first we stored the string into this variable, and this string is created using template literal string. Okay. 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 Multi-line string. You can create a multi-line string using backticks with template literals. The backticks allow you to span the string across multiple lines. Okay. Find method. We have length method. Now we have the concatenation, the plus operator. We have escape character. Okay, insert a single quotes, insert a double quote, insert a backslash. Okay. Okay. So we are seeing that it doesn't matter if we starts the string using the double, what we say, it's double inverted commas. We can use the escape character, which is backslash, by using it the following character. For example, the single single inverted comma or the double inverted comma will be ignored by the first and last comma. So everything that comes between will become a string. And even the backslashes are escaped using the backslash. So if we write double backslash, only one will be get outputted here. Okay. Next, breaking long strings. Okay. We can also use the escape character backslash to break a long string. The easiest method is to use toString and then using the concatenate symbol plus between those. Okay. Now we also have a substring method to extract the specific portion of an string. Okay. Now we have also method to string to convert a string to uppercase and lowercase. I think I should write the methods in string as well. Methods in string dot substring. Next is dot to uppercase. Dot to lowercase. Next is dot index of. After that we have dot replace. Actually the pattern is followed is source and destination. So the source is HTML. We have to find HTML in the string and then replace it with destination called JavaScript. Learn JavaScript as Geek for Geek. Trimming white space, and it is a very necessary one when we are using when we are doing input validation from the forms. So trimming white space is a very necessary thing. dot trim. Next is accessing character from an string. So we can simply use the index. Now we can compare the string. Dot local compare. Okay. And string 1 with string 2. Okay. Okay. The difference of ASCII value. Okay. So we can simply use the equality operator, double equal, in order to compare two strings. Okay. Passing JavaScript strings as an object. Okay. We can create a new JavaScript string using the new keyword. Okay. Are the string and new keyword is same as? No, the string created by new keyword is an object and is not the same as normal string, because I've just seen that things are not looking right, and I maybe not pointed it on camera on, but that actually the things here, if we go back to the first start here, because these things are enclosed in the square brackets, something I felt is not right, because here we have a key and value pair. It is called a string, and there is a value called created string, a create string with a string constructor, and I do feel that it is an object because it is in form of key and values, not unlike another string which has no quotations anything else. Let's go back to the middle of the day there, when it's the where it starts all. Now, passing JavaScript string and object, we have already seen that when we want to pass this string and object, we have to create a string using the string method, and that's all. Let's quickly run to the quiz and give me a break for a few minutes, because whole day in office I have to sit in chair, and still sitting on chair since I came from the office, and now my back is hurting, so I need a slight break. Next is, what method would you use to find the length of JavaScript string dot length? I think the third one, because we already learned the lesson that length is not a method. So for this time I will going with C. Let's see. Yes. Next, in JavaScript, strings are immutable, with they cannot be changed after they created. I think yes, strings are immutable. Let's answer it with D. Next, which method will convert an in string to an uppercase? Dot to upper case. Next, which of the following method used to extract a portion? Slice, extract, and dot substring. I think it would be C. Can we use slice method as well? Let's go with D this time. Yes, slice can also be used to extract the portion. Actually, I forgot. Push pushes the object, pop removes, unshift pushes to top, shift removes, splice and slice. I really forgot splice and slice. Okay, we will see. Can we use to extract portion? So ext ract as extracts portion without altering original. Okay. Next, The index of method in JavaScript strings it returns the last occurrence of an specified value. No, the first. Actually, it returns first. This statement is false. Dot index of returns the first occurrence. What will be the output of the following code? String char at index 7. So we have to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7th is then empty space. Empty space. Okay. 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 But I just counted it. Let's see if this is really at 7. It is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I missed it. No problem. Um, which method would split a string into array of substring based on a specific separator? I think we're gonna use slice. I'm going with slice. Split. The method splits a string into an array of substring based on a specified separator. Okay, okay, okay. Now we also have an split method. What it does? Splits string to array of substring. Okay. Let's do it that here. Let string equal to hello world. Okay. Let string 2 is equal to str dot split and console dot log str2 and let's run it. Okay, actually it haven't splitted it. Okay, if we pass the empty, now let's run it again, then it will splits it on the basis of every letter. Okay, and if we parse an thing which is called h and run it again, okay, then if it finds any iteration of which it will remove it. So we have empty string, we have an empty string with h in it. Okay, and if I add double h and if I run it again, what it will output? Okay, and if we have an empty space in between, then I'm sure the hell HELHO comma and it will be separated and the world will be separated. Okay, so what it does, it replaces the anything in between. So in first scenario we are not passing anything in it, hence it is splitting it in every breakpoint possible. Okay, next is Mm, the replace method in JavaScript string only replace the first occurrence of an specified substring. Actually, it false. It replaces on as per index or at last. I guess the replace method by default replace only the first occurrence. Oh, sorry. To replace all the occurrences, you would need to use the regular expression with a global flag. So we have something called dot replace. Okay, and we haven't seen it in action yet. Let's see. Let find me here. Replace. Replace. Okay. So it will only replace the first occurrence. So if we write and if I copy this and if I write again HTML and run our file, learn JavaScript HTML at GFG. So it is replacing the only first occurrence of this HTML, the source that I have already mentioned. To remove white spaces, next question is which of the following will correctly concatenate two strings in JavaScript? Okay, both A and B. Now the question has finished and time to do a short break. And it's already been a 1 hour. So I will pause the video here and will continue our exploration of the further topics. I have already learnt up to JavaScript array and string. We will continue from date and number in our next video.